Good evening out there, all you beautiful commanders, and welcome to Algorab AM. I am your host, Commander IFlippaDaSwitch, and this is your one-stop shop for all your news, needs, and wants when it comes to Sidewinder Syndicate, the Algorab system, Forbes Terminal, even little old me, and everything there is in Elite Dangerous. Things have been a little slow around here in the Algorab system the past couple of days. It's, well, for lack of a better word, it's almost peaceful, I guess. I've been having some issues with various, nicks and knacks, wants and things here in the studio. I gotta figure out this, hold on. There it is. Okay, yeah, there's a panel, it doesn't want to stay in place, and I keep hitting my knee on it, and I almost have no leg left. Anyway, not a lot going on in the system right now. That's not exactly a bad thing, even snakes need a chance to rest. Sidewinders gotta have their chill times, but that doesn't mean that I didn't get around talking to some folks. We do have some lovely interviews for you today. One with Commander Havok and another one with Commander Momo. Both of them talking about individual events that they have coming up in the near future. And let me tell you, it's gonna be pretty interesting. But all that aside, I kind of like these downtimes here in Algorab. It's not exactly a bad thing to have a little bit of peace and tranquility, some kind of normalcy to your life,
Priority message.
Well, that's weird. I usually don't get calls this time when I'm recording. I'm actually going to switch over to the interviews now and take this call. When we come back, we will have some awesome news for you, stuff going on. Yeah, who hasn't what? Okay, yeah. So we'll be right back. All right, and we are back with our interview segment. And today we are going to be interviewing one of our good compadres here in Sidewinder Syndicate. That would be one Commander Havok. How you doing, Havok?
Hey, Switch. How you doing?
Well, actually, it's pretty cold here in Washington right now. I was not prepared for that this morning, but
it's super hot here.
Yeah, it definitely cooled down quite quickly, which I am okay with. But so I just wanted to kind of get to know you and allow other people in Sidewinder a chance to get to know you as well, because I don't know how many people are actually aware how many folks are actually in Sidewinder, but it's over 300 people. I'm not even 100% sure all of them are on the Discord, and not everyone's on the same platform, which is unfortunate because crossplay is not a thing.
No crossplay.
That still doesn't really mean that we can't not enjoy getting to know each other, but also finding ways to help people on specific platforms to link up, which is one of the reasons why I like doing this. Speaking of platforms, what platform do you primarily play Elite on?
Well, I'm the Xbox lead, so pretty much Xbox.
That's awesome. So how long have you been playing Elite? Like, have you been playing since launch, or did you discover it later on?
Actually, I think I really started playing the game just a little bit after Horizons came out. And I think I joined Sidewinder maybe a month after that, after I really started to get into the game. I was looking for, a group to kind of help with the monotony of mining and shooting things. But I found Sidewinder, and the guys there are just amazing. So
yeah, it's funny too, because I shortly after starting the game started looking for a group to play with, because it was definitely the same thing. I told this story before, but I started playing at my cousin's recommendation, and the game was on sale, admittedly, and so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And then I started playing, and I was playing with them, and we were having a good time. But then they migrated back to their games, and I was still playing Elite, but I was all by myself. And then at one point I was like, man, I really need to find someone to play with. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to play this game anymore. Like, I was just, like he said, like the monotony was starting to get to me. I sort of started driving myself crazy with trade grinding, because I was like, I'm going to get trade elite. That's what I'm going to do. I started going down that rabbit hole. And then Well, yeah, I just kind of stumbled into Sidewinder via Reddit, and that's, as they say, how the story goes. But yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that, you kind of ended up looking for a group just based on like, well, I like playing this game, but I don't like just doing all this crap solo. I definitely need to find a squadron to play with.
Yeah, and I think that the thing I liked the most about Sidewinder was kind of, and it's still our motto, if you will, it's play the way you want. And, we've got miners and bounty hunters and PvPers and gankers even. The cool thing about it is that we all help each other out. I've mainly seen it most on Xbox because I play on Xbox, but that's the group that I want Sidewinder to be, is a group that helps each other out. Everybody pitches in something when someone has a problem or they don't understand something. We can help them out. In other groups I've seen, you see people get ridiculed for not knowing how to play, especially a game like Elite that is very complicated. Those types of people, they just stop asking and then they stop playing. It happens in our group. Somebody doesn't have a answer to a question. 10 guys jump in and say, hey, this is how you do it. And that's just really a good thing.
I definitely had that experience like literally this past week because I wanted to go and unlock the Guardian frameshift booster. And so I just asked, I was like, where do I need to go do this? And I can't remember which commander it was, but he sent me a link to a guide. And then he was like, you should probably get, a ship that has a point defense, park as close as you can and just run the loop until you get the module. And I was like, okay, cool. And like, as I was going, I did it in a aspects, which probably wasn't the best choice because I had a really hard time like finding a parking spot, for lack of a better word. Yeah, like parking was a big issue.
Parking sucks there.
Yeah, it was not great. It was not groovy. But I can say though that that's something that's fairly known as far as my understanding of how to do it. But people, like you said, were still like, oh yeah, man, like here you go. Like I had like 3 people respond with the answer and stuff like that. And I even said, I was like, sorry if I'm asking these like straight up noob questions, but I just generally don't know. And they're like, it's fine, just ask and someone will tell you. And I was like, oh god, that's how, oh my god, is this how community works? Oh my god.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for real. I was like, oh, well, this positivity on the internet, I don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, we used to run guys out, that we still do, but when someone wanted to unlock something, me and a couple of the other guys that I used to play with would fly out with them and launch our fighters, and we'd just sit in our fighters and provide air cover and shoot all the drones. So it was really fun. But it was also nice because it let everybody, we could guide them and everything. And it was just, that's what Sidewinder Syndicate is. And that's what it's been. And it always goes faster that way too. You get less people upset because they can't figure out what they're doing, and everybody can get back to what they actually wanted to do. Time is the worst commodity or the most important commodity in in this game, and you don't want to be wasting it.
So on that note then, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the current state of Elite? And do you think it's in a good place, or do you think that things could be better? Like with the return of Galnet and community goals, a lot of people are really happy. Some people, like when I came into the game, Galnet had been shut down and community goals weren't even a thing. So I don't know Elite before those went away. And then all of a sudden they're back and everyone's like flipping out. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I didn't really understand the novelty of it until I started doing the community goals. But how do you feel about it right now as things are?
Well, I think that Elite can always be better. We've had, just every time there's an update, there's some problem or something, even some things that were fixed. But I think right now it's at a really good place. Like I said, it could be better, but I really love Galnet is back. I really enjoy listening to Galnet. It just makes you feel like you're part of the world or universe, I guess. I think with the carriers coming out, we got a lot of people interested in that. It brought a lot of people in. So really our job now is to kind of keep everyone interested, which is why we're setting up these events that are coming up soon.
You may as well take the time now to go ahead and play it. Go ahead and tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, so we've actually done this once before. way long time ago. We're doing it again. It's the Sidewinder Syndicate Grand Prix. It's going to be races. We've got everything set up. We've got all the builds set. The way it'll work is this time we want to give everyone who wants to race the ability to, so that they can race however they want. And in doing that, what we've done is we've set up three classes.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
The lowest class and the class that takes the least amount of time to invest is the fighter class. So ship launch fighters, you can fly them around. You can borrow someone else's fighter through multi-crew if it works. It's just a chance to kind of get out and actually race around on the track a bit. The next class is the light class. And what that is it's going to be Vipers and Imperial Eagles. They're all built to spec, so they're all competitive with each other. You get to pick one or the other. They're very low engineering or no engineering. So really the only thing you need is to fly out to Chicken Lady's place and grab a enhanced thrusters. That's pretty much it. You'll go a little faster, and it's very easy to do. It's really easy to unlock the engineer that sells them. So it's not a lot of time investment. The next class above that is the one that I'm really excited about, and that's the open class. And the open class is any ship engineered any way you want. So you can take whatever you'd like, engineer it however you want, and go as fast as you can. That's pretty much how it works.
That sounds interesting.
The next thing is the way that we're going to start off is we're going to have every class race on the track at the same time. If we get enough people, we'll move to each class will have their own race, but that'll kind of have to see how everything goes.
Okay.
But we're really excited for it. There's some other events coming up too that I'm kind of keeping secret, but some of the Xbox guys might remember it.
Nice.
A little hint.
Secret events. I love secret events.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think the races will be really fun too. I really hope that a lot of people decide to come out and play. It's just something that the game wasn't really built for, but it's really fun, and it's something to do other than mining or bounty hunting for the 11,000th hour. So yeah, come on out. We will have at least on Xbox, I know, which means everyone should be able to use it. We're going to have carriers that can ferry fighters and the smaller ships and stuff that maybe don't have the greatest jump range out to the tracks. Our first track, you guys will probably hear about it before this comes out, because I'm going to announce it next week, I think. The first track is in Algorab, so it's not far to go. Yeah. I'll have all the information for it and everything posted. We'll be getting a channel too, so you can keep track of all that information, see who's racing, see where the next race is going to be.
Nice.
Yeah, should be really fun.
Well, it does. It sounds like you guys have put a lot of thought and a lot of planning into it and everything. That's good. That works out.
Yeah,
great.
lots of hours in Coriolis.
Yeah, a lot of different builds that got put together and scrapped. All right, well, cool. I look forward to it. So what's the actual start date on that?
The start date is going to be the 3rd of next month. So that would be October 3rd. That's where we're aiming for. It still is a little bit up in the air, but that's probably when it'll start.
Cool. All right, well, I look forward to it. Can't wait to announce the winners of the Sidewinder Syndicate Grand Prix. It's going to be pretty dope, I imagine. Yeah,
I hope you guys will have little updates on your channel. That'd be fun.
We'll have to see how much coverage I can do outside of the podcast. That's another tricky thing that I'm working on with the show and everything. It's funny because as much as I feel like I have this whole thing, nailed down to, for lack of a better word, some type of like reasoning or science, it's still very much a like evolving monster that I'm just continually trying to figure out. So we will make sure that the information can get out to all them snakes out there. So
Algorab AM will live on.
Indeed it will. So I have just 2 more questions for you, and they're all pretty basic questions, but it's something that I want to make sure that I'm asking people on the regular when they come on here. So what is your favorite ship that you own, and why is it special to you?
My favorite ship is my Vulture. I called her Pale Horse.
Ooh.
It's the ship that I use in combat zones the most. I started off in combat zones. That was kind of my expertise at the time. I still do a lot of combat zones. It's a good bounty hunter too, but it's just fun to fly. That's the most important part.
Yeah, I've definitely flown a Vulture and had a good time in it, but I hadn't really flown it enough to really get a feel for it as much as I should have before I sold it, which I probably shouldn't have sold it, but I did. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I could get back to it. Right now, my personal combat build is my I call it the Pelican, but it's a Lannister chieftain that I'm engineering the ever-loving crap out of. And it's been pretty fun to mess around with, and it's a lot of fun to fly. But I don't know, there's something to be said about the smaller ships and getting around in those that is like really appealing. Like, I don't know, I might have to play around with that just to see if I can, get something like a Vulture or maybe like a Viper or something like that, and just, see how it does. But I can definitely see the appeal of the smaller ships.
Well, if you want to fly the Vulture, make sure you have plenty of materials. And get used to that engineering, because you're going to need it. Yeah,
and that's the other thing too, is like I've invested so much engineering into my chieftain at this point that it almost doesn't seem like a good idea to like switch over to something else as far as a combat build. But honestly, the only thing that's driving me to like check out another vehicle for another ship for combat is I can't count how many times I've blown out the canopy on that chieftain. It is ridiculous. Like I have blown out that canopy probably 20 times at this point.
Yeah, with the Vulture, you're not going to be too much different on that. It does have a very large canopy, but it also has really good shields. So yeah, I usually don't have my shields go down too often in the Vulture, but it's, like I said, very engineered.
Yeah, so that's probably something that I'll check out. But okay.
Love the Chieftain. It's a good ship.
It is a good ship, and it looks cool. That's the thing. It looks dope. I like it.
That's what matters.
I mean, it is definitely a part of it. But I call it the Pelican because it reminds me of the Pelican drop ships from Halo.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought they looked like.
Yeah, and so when I first saw it, I was like, yo, I'm 100% going to get one of those things, and it turned out pretty good. Okay, so the last and final question is, what are you playing outside of Elite? I mean, Elite is a great game, and Sidewinder is a great community, but it's also important to take a break from the game from time to time, otherwise you do hit burnout. So what else are you playing besides Elite?
Well, I'm actually an admin in another Discord right now for XPLR. It's Xbox Pro League Racing. We do a lot of Dirt Rally and Assetto Corsa and just other kind of racing games like that. So
that's cool.
That's kind of where the whole race idea for the Grand Prix comes from.
That's pretty dope.
I like going fast and I like turning fast. So yeah, great.
I like speed. Speed likes me.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So just a whole bunch of different you primarily like racing games then. That's really cool.
But I also play a lot of other things too. Like I'm into the grindy games right now. So I've been playing Monster Hunter is a really good one with the Iceborne expansion.
I hopped off right when Iceborne came out, and I probably should have invested, but I just couldn't get into it at the time.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games I really am a big fan of. I like hard games. Games that you can kind of get lost in are ones that I like. Racing is that way, but it's a little different. But yeah, I play a lot of different things. I got a lot of time.
So before we end out, we plugged the Sidewinder Syndicate Grand Prix. People know where to find you on the Discord and in Sidewinder, Commander Havok. Well, I guess before we go, do you have any questions for me?
How much do you pay for rent in Forbes? I mean, this is a nice place.
I mean, admittedly, I live here in the studio, so it's kind of a combination of radio station and my house. But what I really pay for... Yeah, what I really pay for though is the freaking bandwidth to get the signal out. That's what's freaking killing me.
You can send a signal all the way across the galaxy, but you can't get 5G Wi-Fi for under $100. What is the world coming to?
That's part of the reason why I'm constantly out there freaking either slaying it in conflict zones or trading and stuff like that. Like, I mean, you think rebuy on an Anaconda is bad? My monthly bandwidth bill is ridiculous. I would eat the rebuy on a fully kitted Anaconda 100 times. But instead, this guy is just like, no, man, I need them credits so you can freaking do your show. And I'm like, guy. So
yeah,
that's, I guess that's the rent that I'm paying. I'm probably paying more than like double what rent would be, but I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll
might as well buy a carrier.
You know, that thought has crossed my mind. I mean, you can't have actual pirate radio without a ship, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, Havok, I want to thank you very much for coming on and for sharing information about yourself and introducing yourself and also talking about the Grand Prix and everything. Again, really look forward to that. That's on October 2nd. Make sure that October 3rd. If anybody listening has any questions, reach out to Commander Havok 887 on the Discord. And that's it. Thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was a really good chance to be on here, and I'm so happy I got to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, you have yourself a good day, and I'll talk to you later. And we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Structurally unstable. Enter at your own risk.
Mackenzie Relay. Stay calm. I'm a Pilot Federation Rescue Commander, and I'm here to help.
Very well, Commander. We've prepared your landing pad.
Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage. Heat sink deployed.
This is a station-wide alert. Security personnel are to report to their posts immediately.
Pack it in, people. We gotta go. I ain't got many heat sinks left.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Ship is released. Proceed with great care, Commander.
Come on, Drexel. Don't stammer now. We gotta turn so we don't burn. Alright, time to shoot the slot. In the clear, 555.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Rescue ship, this is Romeo Lemon 911. I've got a lot of weary refugees that would like to get off of your ship.
All right. And welcome back. And we are here today with Commander Momo. How are you doing today, Momo?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So, real quick, let's get started with some basic stuff so people can get to know you a little better if they don't already. What platform do you play Elite on?
I play on PC.
You know, I actually didn't realize until a couple of days ago that there's a lot of people in Sidewinder that are on consoles and stuff, and it's not as many people on PC as I originally thought it was. So I was actually kind of surprised.
Yeah, we've got a lot of diversity.
Yeah, we do. So how long have you been playing Elite exactly? Like, I'm actually fairly new to the game, but how long have you been playing?
Been playing since 2015, shortly after launch. I remember the exact update. It was update 1.3 that I started playing.
What did 1.3 bring?
I don't remember. I don't know.
It probably bounced a few things and broke a couple other things. It's usually how it.
Yeah, that's just Frontier.
Yeah, it's not very often I run into someone that's been playing the game for a really long time. Typically it's people that are sort of in the same wheelhouse as me. As far as like I've been playing for probably 3 months, 4 months now. But like running into people that have been playing for years and years. It's always interesting getting their perspective on the game, as it was then and as it is now and stuff. But we'll get more to that in a minute. Okay, so then how long have you been with Sidewinder?
It's a really complicated question because Sidewinder's gone through a couple of, should I say this, complications through the last 2 years. So yeah, I've been with Sidewinder since 2018, I believe, if I can remember right. But there's been a lot of problems last year, but now everything's better. So come join us.
I mean, every group goes through its friction, I imagine, at some point. This is definitely one of the more like welcoming online communities I've ever been in. So I mean, it would be unfair to assume that things have been perfect forever. It's never that way, especially online.
Yeah, well, I was saying that because our original Discord server actually got deleted.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, one of the admins turned rogue and went like, "Oh, I'm gonna remake the server." Yeah, that was like last year. It just got deleted.
Oh man.
Yeah, but now it's fair.
So, whenever I bring someone on to the show, I want to make sure that if they have anything going on, events-wise, that they're putting together, that we give them a little bit of time to promote in the first half of the interview. So, I understand that you were putting together and coordinating an event called the Momo Cup.
Yes, I'm coordinating an event called the Momo Cup. It's an interplanetary race. It's an SRV interplanetary race with Diamondback explorers, and it's very combat focused, so you can kill other people. And it's going to be really fun, and I wish to see you there.
Awesome. So let me get this straight. So it's going to involve SRVs. It's going to involve combat. And it's going to be planet to planet. It's like a weird triathlon almost, where it's like, all right, you're going to start here.
So there's checkpoints, and we're starting from Forbes Terminal, our HQ. And each time you hit a new planet, you get to the next checkpoint. And when you die, you can just return back to the checkpoint, so you don't have to do the whole course again.
Okay.
And there's interdictions, there's going to be SRV shootouts, and there's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds
and
cool.
A lot of headaches for us.
It sounds like you definitely got your hands full. All right, cool. And when does that start?
It's on the 26th of September, so this month, or 4 p.m. Greenwich time. So, yeah.
All right, cool.
See you there.
Yep. For those listening, make sure you adjust your clocks accordingly. Since you have been around in the game for a while, I guess this question is a lot more relevant for you as opposed to fairly new commanders. But how do you feel about the current state of Elite, like where things are now? And do you feel like the game is in a good place, or do you think that, there are changes aside from what we know is coming, like space legs and things like that? Like, what is your current temperature on Elite right now?
So back in the day, I never really thought that we're gonna be able to land on planets. So I'm kind of an optimist when it comes to Elite. I feel good with Frontier's direction on Elite right now. Of course, there's still bugs and all that you have to work out. But I guess the fleet carriers seem kind of unnecessary, I guess. Well, yeah, of course they're good for traveling long distances and all that, but I guess that just kind of takes the fun out of exploring.
Yeah, I can definitely see where a lot of people would feel like it's kind of easy mode when it comes to exploration stuff. I would say that you're right, though, that there are certain parts about fleet carriers in general that could probably be better. I think it is cool, though, because stuff like the Key to the Heart expedition wouldn't have been able to happen if it wasn't for, well, it would have been a lot harder to coordinate if it wasn't for fleet carriers. You know what I mean? Like, we had like 30-something people out there at one point between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation doing all this cool stuff and exploring and everything a lot further out than I had ever been, especially at that point where I was with engineering. So yeah, it is kind of easy mode, but it does also kind of give you they do open up other opportunities and stuff. So
it gives newer people the opportunity to experience, what older players can.
cool. So as far as like other parts of the game and stuff like that, how do you feel about like space legs coming out and everything? And then also, a lot of people in the community, not just Sidewinder, are upset that we won't be able to walk around our spaceships, but apparently we'll be able to walk around space stations. So I think that's pretty cool in the grand scheme of things. But like, how do you feel about it?
Space legs is a really nice, addition to Elite, obviously. Now, not being able to walk around your ship seems kind of... Well, I think that's where they should have started, really, with this whole, like, space legs, I feel like they should have started from being able to walk around your ship, and then, being able to, like, walk around space stations and such. But, all in due time, I believe in Frontier. I think they're gonna make a nice, nice interiors for ships and such. Because, of course, ships are really complicated, and you have to make all those compartments and shit.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because I listened to a lot of people, talking about it in different places like YouTube, and it's funny to me that they're like all up in arms. Okay, I'm speaking primarily about Yamix, who I think has good intentions with his opinions and stuff, but I think he goes a little too far in the poo-pooing of Frontier when it comes to a lot of things, but that's neither here nor there. I do think that prioritizing being able to walk around space stations first, as opposed to like your actual spaceship, like you said, does kind of make sense. And I think that the spaceships will come along eventually, because realistically, if we were going to be able to walk around a place, I'd prefer it be like a lived-in space, you know what I mean? And the space stations have that. Like, the space stations are obviously populated by people, so why not make it to where you're walking around, even if it's just like other NPCs, but then you also have the possibility of walking around with other commanders and stuff like that to create like a social space inside that space station. And there's so many space stations in so many millions of systems and everything. It opens up a lot more as far as like the social aspects of the game. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to be able to walk around my Type 10 and just, see the inner workings and inner guts of that beast to get a feel for how big it actually is. But at the same time, like, if I have to wait a little bit longer to do that, but be able to actually interact with people like in Sidewinder at a space station first, I'd rather do that,
Right. Yeah, but don't get your hopes up that much. I think well, obviously we're gonna be able to walk around space stations and all that, but I don't think we're gonna have such a big playable space. I'm calling it right now. I don't think we're gonna have like a big playable space. I think we're just gonna be able to like go and visit the mission givers and all that, but I don't think we're gonna be able to, go outside and all that.
Yeah, and it might just turn into a series of, in the grand scheme, might turn into a series of menus and stuff, but it'll still be interesting to see.
It's a starting point.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's move on to something that doesn't require as much in-depth analysis of almost, wow, it's weird to think this game's like almost, 6 years old now? 5, 6 years old?
Yeah, it is 6 years old.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so next question, probably the most important question that I could ask you. What is your favorite ship that you own, and why is it your favorite? Like, what is special about it to you?
Yeah, I love the Clipper. I first got the rank, Baron was it? The rank for the Clipper back in 2017, I believe. There was this one of a time, one of a kind, kind of fairy tooth God-given community goal, which gave you a ton of money just for hauling stuff, like for 3 systems, in between 3 systems. And at that time, my best ship, I believe it was the ASP Explorer. So I sold my best ship. I sold the only ship that I had, the ASP, and I got a Type 6, and I just started hauling. I just started grinding those... I don't even know. I don't even remember what they were. but I just started grinding, and I got 100 million out of community goal, out of the community goal. Yeah, and I used all of that in what was it, Gaia? What was it, Maya? Anyways, in an imperial system, and I just donated most of that money, and that's how I got my first actual, good ship. I formed an emotional bond with it because I had it, but I had no money, so I had to be careful with it, and I had to make money using that ship. And that ship has a 7, size 7 optional internal, but it's a clipper. You can do trading and all that with a clipper. So I had it for a long time.
So it's special to you because you work so hard to get it and to finally make it your own, and then after you had it, you're like, I can't rebuy this. I have to be careful right now. I definitely ran into that early on. That's actually how I lost my I lost a killback that way. I had a bunch of money, which I kind of fell in love early on with the killback. I thought it was a really cool ship. I mean, it is a cool ship, but I had that for a long time, and I was running back and forth, and I kept dumping all my money into upgrades for it. And then I was out doing some trading, and then I got interdicted. I lost the interdiction, got blown up, and didn't have enough money to rebuy. And I was like, oh no, I've committed the cardinal sin of flying without rebuy. And so I lost I lost the killback and was forced to go back to my Cobra. And then I was like, nope, I'm not gonna let this stop me, because I almost kind of raged on the game at that point. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna rage. I'm just gonna keep playing. I'm gonna figure this out. And so I went and got a bunch of money together, and then I didn't buy another killback. I can't remember what I got. I got a fairly decent trading ship. I think I might have just saved up till I got to Type 9 actually. And then I had a lot of money at that point, and I was just like slowly building it up. It made me a lot more frugal when it came to my spending, for sure. And yeah, and then I just kind of grew an attachment to that Type 9, because I was like, nope, you're my second chance at doing this right. I have to treat you right. So that's what I did. All right, well, last and final question, because like Elite, while it is a great game, it can't be the only game that you play, because you'll burn out like super duper hard. So what games are you currently playing right now besides Elite?
Well, I just started modding Fallout 4, so I'm playing that. I also play RTS games. For example, I guess Kenshi is a good example. And other, say, Command and Conquer and all that.
Have you played the Command and Conquer and Red Alert remaster?
I have played it. It's pretty good.
I definitely. It's actually funny. A friend of mine bought me the entire Command and Conquer collection on PC a while back. So like it had everything from original CNC up through Tiberium Sun to Red Alert, all the Red Alert games and everything like that. And it it was a lot of fun, but it was just weird because I had to do so much modding for like Red Alert 1, because it just didn't want to play properly in the at the resolution I wanted it to be at. So like I had to do a lot of like third-party mods and stuff like that to get it up to 1080p and everything. And even then it didn't quite look right. But it I know what you mean as far as like RTS games though. Those games definitely hold a special place in my heart. I haven't got a chance to play the remaster though, so I might have to check that out, because those are two really good games, and I'd like to actually play them with like native 1080p support and stuff like that.
Right. I didn't really feel nostalgic or anything about that, about the remastered edition, because I didn't play Red Alert 1. Right. I started with Red Alert 2 and Tiberian Sun. And that's because that's what my dad used to play, and the Age of Empires too, and all that,
Oh yeah.
But I didn't play Red Alert 1, so I don't really feel nostalgic. But it's a good game. So they did a good job, which is a lot coming from EA.
Yeah. Well, it was really sad when, like Westwood Studios went under and stuff like that, and EA bought out all the Command and Conquer stuff, and I was like, oh, it'll be okay. But, like back when that happened, that was before everybody had very strong opinions about EA, we'll say.
That's when EA still made relatively good games.
I just remember playing those games after they got bought out and stuff, and I was like, oh, they're still pretty good. Like, I'm still having a good time. And then I kind of fell off after I really got into like a lot of like space sims and stuff like that. And then I just kind of I didn't like gravitate away from RTS games so much, because like the genre hasn't really gotten a lot of love in the last forever actually. But there's been onesies and twosies that have come out that have been pretty good. So
yeah, you should try Kenshi. It's a pretty good game.
I'll have to check that out. Oh no, sorry. I was gonna say what I wanted to try out though was did you ever play Commandos?
I played Commandos actually. I played Commandos 2, I think. Was there Commandos 2? Yeah, because I remember playing Commandos 2. It was on my dad's friend's laptop, and I just didn't know what I had to do, but I just played. Yeah, I'm also playing Arma 3 right now.
Oh, nice.
There's also a game called From the Depths and Factorio and all that.
Oh man,
I'm into those like open world games.
So what's funny about Factorio is like when I first started playing that game, I liked it a lot and I thought it was really cool. And I was playing it. I even played some co-op and stuff with like my cousins and everything. And then for some reason, when I was watching somebody play it, and they made the analogy that like playing Factorio is a lot like programming in how you get different systems to work with each other and like utilizing multiple systems to run a system and things like that. And for some reason, it completely ruined my enjoyment of the game. Like suddenly it went from like this cool factory sim game to like, oh no, this is just like basic programming, like the thing that I've been studying for a long time. Like it almost kind of made it homework. And I was like, I don't really want to play this as much anymore now. Don't get me wrong. It's still a really cool game and you can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. I just thought it was funny how like that analogy for whatever reason sort of soured me on it, but I'll probably still go back and play that game.
There's also a game called Star Sector, which is also a space sim. It's a top-down game, so it's a really complicated game, and there's like there's factions and all that, like in Elite, play much more of a part, in the sector, because that's how it's called, in the world, than you do in Elite.
I'll have to check that one out. Well, right, that's everything that I have to ask you, Momo. I appreciate you coming on. And sorry, I know this interview has been a long time coming. I just been, obviously really busy with the other parts of the show and just life in general. But I appreciate you being patient, and I appreciate you being here.
It's been nice being here, and you've been a good host.
Oh, well, thank you.
So yeah, I hope my answers were good enough for you.
Oh no, man, you're fine. I like this to be a more organic conversation anyway. You know what I mean? I don't like it to feel so stilted and so, I guess like formulaic is the best way to put it, because I feel like you don't get genuine answers out of people when you present them that kind of structure. So yeah, I definitely like to make it kind of a conversation. I mean, yeah, I have some like preloaded questions and stuff, but that's more for me to stay on track as opposed to, anything for the guest. All right. Well, so the 26th you said for the Momo Cup, that'll be this coming Saturday, and you said it was at 4:00 Greenwich time. All right.
Yeah, I use Greenwich so that everyone can relate to it.
Cool. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this segment. Again, Momo, thank you very much for coming on, and we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hold on. Wait. Oh. Get it. Okay. Crap. I'm recording now. All right. And we're back. Those were some really good interviews. I tell you what, I am definitely looking forward to the Momo Cup. I think it's gonna be great. Definitely a event to look forward to, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. I mean, who doesn't love a good race, right? So, some things had come up, and I also forgot that limpets were that big. Anyway, your old friend, IFlippaDaSwitch, is gonna be heading out into black. I got a message earlier from a dear old friend of mine that I kind of ran with back in the day when I was still out in the black, and he's asking me to come out to a spot out in the Galactic West, and it sounds important. So let me get things set up. But the good news is that I should be able to take all of my equipment and put it inside my ship and then be able to record from there. So you'll still be able to get all of the amazing Algorab AM goodness that you've come to know and love. I'll just be doing it from the black, and I'll still be able to talk to guests whenever I can get a chance. I'll still be able to give you all the juiciest updates and awesome tips and what's going on and everything going on in Algorab. It's gonna be fine. Fret not. I just gotta go see a man about a stellar object, apparently. Anyway, so that is going to do it for this week's episode of Algorab AM. I want to, of course, thank my guests for coming on and giving me a piece of their time. I really do appreciate it. Please check out the events that they went through and plugged, and also make sure you guys are winging up out there and helping each other out, because remember, one snake is pretty scary, but a pack of snakes, that's deadly. So with that, once again, thank you very much for listening. Have yourselves an awesome, awesome time out there. Be safe, fly dangerous. 07.